Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be asked to share a few remarks on this, the 9th Finance for the Future Awards, hosted by my Accounting for Sustainability project in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants and Deloitte. Now, I'm only so sorry that I am not able to be with you in person, but am instead zooming in to the live events in London and Glasgow, as well as broadcasting to those of you joining online. These awards, celebrating as they do practical examples of the role that finance can play to turn commitment into action, could not be more timely. Finance really does hold our future in its hands. Unless we can unlock private sector resource, innovation and finance, with the public sector setting a framework of incentives and regulation, we simply do not stand a chance of solving the existential crises we have engineered for ourselves over the years. Over the past 19 months, my Sustainable Markets Initiative has brought together over 300 global CEOs, forming a coalition of the willing. They have over $60 trillion in assets under management, and crucially, a determination to direct tens of trillions of dollars towards sustainable investment by 2030. With invaluable support from the world's 4 largest accountancy firms, including Deloitte, we are identifying the roadblocks to sustainable growth and the practical solutions which would shift them out of the way. Earlier this year, I announced the Terra Carta, a practical blueprint for action with 3 key priorities identified by participating CEOs. Firstly, a framework that will help drive finance and investment from the private sector to the highest priority sustainability projects around the world. Secondly, 10 Terra Carta transition alliances aiming to drive tens of trillions of dollars in sustainable investment and industry action for transition across 10 of the highest emitting and polluting industries. And thirdly, recommendations on the market signals from governments that would help the private sector and private investment accelerate their efforts across industries. Underpinning these priority areas, and I'm sure of particular relevance to you as finance and accounting professionals, is access to the data and metrics necessary to inform decisions. When I first established Accounting for Sustainability back in 2004, my aim was to help ensure that we were not battling to meet 21st century challenges with, at best, 20th century decision-making and reporting systems. I'm relieved to hear that 17 years later, so not before time, real progress is being made. Tomorrow, a key focus of discussions at COP26 will be on finance, including, I hear, the establishment of the IFRS Foundation's International Sustainability Standards Board. Accounting for Sustainability, A4S, has contributed to this progress by bringing together many of the key global organizations involved in the reporting arena. Firstly, through the establishment of the International Integrated Reporting Council at a roundtable that I hosted in 2009, and then the Task Force for Climate-Related Financial Disclosures in 2015. Additionally, A4S works with CFOs and investors to support the practical adoption of reporting frameworks to drive better decisions. I am delighted that A4S is working closely with the SMI across the 10 Terra Carta transition alliances to develop and adopt these sustainable accounting approaches within these key sectors. Of course, having the metrics and data to measure and report on progress is critical for informed decisions to be taken, but far from sufficient. As the Finance for the Future Awards show, integrated thinking and decision-making are absolutely critical. An understanding of a company's impacts on nature, people and planet needs to be embedded into every decision that is made, taking into account the true value of natural and social capital. Ladies and gentlemen, since the awards were created, there have been over 226 finalists from more than 35 countries, demonstrating the power of finance to achieve the innovation we need to embed nature, people and planet into decision making and to communicate that all-important integrated approach through their reporting. I can only urge you to take inspiration from these finalists and to turn commitment into action. Now, I'm sure that you are all eager to find out whether you have won the awards this evening, and I understand that they have been particularly competitive this year. So I will, if I may, conclude by congratulating all of the finalists and winners and leave you with one final point. In the build-up to and during COP26, it is encouraging to see so many from the private sector making ambitious commitments to net zero. However, with action on climate change, biodiversity loss, and a just transition more critical than ever, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm relying on you all to turn commitment into action and set an inspiring example to others.